Now that report will be the basis of our interaction on the poll question tonight, and we ask you to share your thoughts on the failure to implement a quarantine on livestock in Kampala. Once again, share your thoughts on the failure to implement a quarantine on livestock in Kampala. Now feel free to share your comments on our social media platforms, that is NTV Uganda on Facebook and at NTV Uganda on X. For now, let's continue with NTV Weekend Edition. In recent days, many banking institutions have expressed concern at the rising arrogance of scammers who have cost them millions of shillings in lost money. Whereas digital banking is the future, it has cost Ugandan financial institutions, including the telecoms, over 1.8 trillion shillings in 1 year. Now, some are upgrading their firewalls to meet the demands of the industry, and one of those upgrading is I&M Bank Uganda. Tonight, we have the bank's head of products and channels, Joseph Feta. Good evening, Joseph, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Mildred, and thank you for hosting me tonight.
Yes, so let us just delve into it. Now, your organization, I&M Bank, is carrying out an upgrade of the system. Tell us more about this upgrading of the system.
Well, thank you so much, and good evening, viewers. The upgrade is basically in response to our transformation journey as a bank. We've in the past had our systems in a fragmented manner, and hence we needed to bring that all in one umbrella, where it then gives the customer that much needed experience of homogeneous feel when you go to the ATM, when you go to the when you use your apps, or when you use internet banking. So the whole omni-channel kind of experience to the customer then comes to life with that upgrade.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so digital banking is the future, but that has also come at a cost. We have seen the systems have been manipulated. So this upgrade of the system, is it part of I&M's response to that effect?
Well, upgrading systems is a continuous journey because, like you said, scammers also are not, sleeping,
seated,
right? So, as I&M as well, part of what we were doing is to ensure that we have more secure, banking systems. On the digital front itself, we had to, ensure that we have state-of-the-art kind of security that protects our customers. Things to do with the two-factor authentication that over and above your login details is what we had to put in. Also your OTP response whenever you transact, which is your one-time password, to again give you an extra layer of security is also something that we needed to put in. When you look at scamming, as you put it, it's not only on digital channels but also on card transactions as well. So in October of last year, you might have heard of a campaign that Uganda Bankers Association ran countrywide, which was called Better Steady. That was also in response to the fraudsters and getting the customers aware of what they need to do to ensure that they are not caught on the wrong side of that scam.
Okay, can this initiative grow the sector? Do you believe it can grow this sector?
Yes, it can, and believe you me, even Bank of Uganda has financial inclusion as part of their agenda, right? And to drive financial inclusion, you have to actually go digital because you can't again open many more banks, branches and all that. You have to reach that customer wherever they are and conveniently as possible, but again also in a secure manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of success, how disruptive is this transition to a new system upgrade, and how do you measure the success of such an upgrade?
So for starters, if you're able to cut over from the old to the new, that's one parameter of success. You'll notice some people will roll over. That means things have not gone well. right? But if you're able to cut over from the old to new, that's number one. Number two, of course, if they're functional, and then also they give you the desired, you know, uptime, the desired, you know, performance in terms of, you know, the numbers, and also how customers quickly, you know, adapt to them. So if your customers, you know, are still, you know, in the past, then there's something that maybe you need to check. But if they are quickly, you know, adapting, then
and how are you doing
successful
that to ensure that everybody is not left behind?
Well, for us as I&M Bank, we start off with you know, our staff. So our staff are our guinea pigs. We you know, do the most testing with our staff. And you know, over and above that, they give us the feedback. You know, you need to improve here, you need to do this and that before we go to the market. But once we go to the market again, there's that whole communication plan to the customers, you know, in terms of, you know, informing them of what is new, but again fronting more of the things that you've added onto the solution that they didn't have. Okay. Yeah, then the buy-in comes in, you know, easily. Yes.
So with the bank, with the new digital banking system, of course, as we conclude this conversation, what are some of the steps you have taken to ensure that the security and privacy of the data of these clients is protected? Because I mean, you've been following some of these stories of, you know, fraudsters and scammers and hackers and all of that. So how are you ensuring that this data is protected?
So I'll mention it in about 3 layers. The first being on our cards that we rolled out. So if you notice, back in 2010, the industry had, you know, mag stripe cards, yeah, where, you know, you just go to a POS machine and just swipe without any password. Then over time, what we did as an industry is to go, you know, EMV, and that is to ensure that whenever you know, go to a POS machine, you have to put in a PIN. So that's already security that is protecting customer data. So the data is moved from mag stripe and stored now in a chip. That is, you know, more stronger. The second bit is, you know, if you look at our ATMs, and the ATMs actually industry-wide, they have something that covers, you know, the customer as they put in their PIN. Even if we used to tell them, you know, you need to secure your PIN and all, we notice there are some people who may not take heed of that.
May not take it seriously.
Exactly. So we did cover our pads, our PIN pads, to ensure that no one is, you know, peeping to see their PINs. Over and above that, on our digital channels, of course, like I mentioned, the second, the two-factor authentication, security as well, that gives you an extra layer over and above your login details. But again, this fight, you know, this scamming fight is a two-way street. So also the customers, on the other hand, have a duty to safeguard their data. We always tell them, you know, your first point of security. Keep your passwords safe. Do not share them with anyone, and then also make them strong. You know, you don't, you know, use your spouse's name, you know, your kids' names, your date of birth, you know, things that someone can quickly, you know, land on, or a scammer for that matter.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Joseph Feta from I&M Bank. You had it. You, the customer, as well, has a part or a role to play when it comes to protecting your finances in the banks and also the telecom companies. Well, that conversation takes us in for a short break, but NTV Weekend Edition continues shortly.